Hello everybody, my name is Guillaume9000 and welcome back to my YouTube channel, which I have been quite absent from in a long time due to many personal issues. But I'm back again with a new game which has just been released like a week ago, and it's called Nobunaga's Ambition, Fear of Influence. And if you ever played Romans of the Three Kingdoms or Kessen, it's kinda a mashup of those games, and it's really strategical, tactical, very hard game actually. And you can start as a very small faction or clan, as it's called in here, and then expand your empire. But there are limits in this because you cannot rule the whole of Japan as yourself. And this is taking place in Japan, as I just alluded to, and that's where the Kessen inspiration for me as a game comes from. There were these great Kessen games at the PlayStation 2, and this is just a very good game in my mind. Now, I played a bit, but I haven't actually completed a scenario as of now because it's quite large in scale, and maybe you can't see the scale at the moment, but look at all this, and you may think, oh, all this is a single town. No, all of these squares you're seeing right now with the different flags is fortress. So, or not all of them is fortress, but they are like this clan. It has 2 castles and 1 fortress, but it's only showing 2, so it alludes to it's the province itself. So as you can see, as I clicked in, this faction appeared as well, and you can build your own fortress, upgrade them, expand your towns, and it's really immersive. And I'm probably going to lose the first time, maybe also the second time, I don't know. I do believe this is a quite hard game, but it's fun because you're gonna get a challenge. Now, we could make our own clan in this game, but I won't. I will play one of the original ones, and I'm going with the first campaign, which is called Birth of Nobunaga. And the reason why I'm going to play this is you don't have muskets, it's just soldiers and horses. But if we go long enough in this game, we will have rifle or muskets at some point, which is quite interesting how they implement this with the Western powers starting to influence them. And I would like to have the whole experience. Now, maybe we will succeed before the muskets arrive. I doubt it, to be honest, because I must warn you, I'm quite a passive player. I like to build up my town, make sure I'm strong enough before I take on an enemy. And first time I did that, as these, I lost quite heavily, so you have to be cautious about using too much time. But let's dive in. And if any of you have played the Total War games, some of these names will remind you of Shogun. Like, let's see if we can find anyone. Here, the Useki. You also have the Hojo clan somewhere. Oda is also a clan from that game. Here at the Hojo, there's also Takeda somewhere, and all that. And I'm going with the Shimashu. And the reason why is it's a tribe I know, or a clan I know from Total War games, and I like this idea, like having an island for myself to defend. So I will have a challenge with the Uchi clan, and I played a campaign as what is called the Nanbu clan, and doing quite okay, just to get a feeling for the game and all that. And the Uchi clan became the strongest clan in that game with like 41,000 soldiers, and already now they have 15,000, which is ridiculous. Like, I started with 3,000 soldiers last time, but I will start with 5,000. So we do have some targets in the area which should be right for the picking if we're seeing. So I will try to be a bit aggressive here to try expand the Shimazu clan and see if we can take over the whole of Japan. And during this playthrough, I will show you some quite interesting mechanics in this game, which kind of limits you and also requires your action from different points, like handling your members in your court, your officers and stuff like that. But quite interesting. Now that's the 4 fortress and 1 castle. Wow, I'm quite amazed. And 40,000 people. Well, maybe, yeah. Let's just do it. We're going to take on normal. I'm not that good of it yet. And yeah, we're just going with the normal settings. And let's get into it. This is kind of a deep strategy game like many others. Your orders. And at each turn, like this, you play for a month. And during this month, you can pause. But after each month, you'll get this council where they talk about how have it went and all that. Oh, a volcano. Well, I do not hope it has any effect on the game itself. If it does, it will be quite interesting. Oh wow, quite compact here. Like, we are really close with our towns, which I really like because, yeah, it should make it quite easy to take on this guy. But before we start the game properly, I will want to show you something in the game which I'm going to use so you are not confused and I maybe forget explaining. You have your map over here, and above the map, as you can see, you have some buttons. Now in this list, it's called, you can see your own officers, the all clans, or just in general like the clan, like who have the most soldiers, most officers, and which ones they have, and all sort of that. Your own officers, where you can see like how loyal are they to me, which is quite important in this game because they can defect to another clan. And also sorry, if they have worked with them long enough and not extract them from your castle yet or your faction, they will, when they attack you, not help you against your enemy, but instead maybe help them. So you have to be very careful and keep an eye on the loyalty of your officers, which make it quite interesting. And you can increase the loyalty by giving some gifts and making them the lord of a castle and stuff like that, which is a quite interesting mechanic in my mind. And you can see the age, which station they have, leader value and stuff like that. So far, politics, it says itself, is very important to do diplomatic things, like making better relations with another clan. Intelligence is quite important when you're trying to investigate your land and build something, because it will be done in a more efficient way. And leadership, I'm quite sure, is leading them into battle and stuff like that. The Val, I'm not sure of what it is yet. I'm quite new at this game, so you will be learning as well as I will. And if someone out there should be more knowledge about this game than me, which I'm quite sure there is, because I never played any of the first one of this, and there are quite few ones, like 2 or 3 before this one. So if you do know, let me know, and I would say thank you for the comment if you do have an explanation what this is. So yeah, this is the list. Next up, you have some quests. Now, since we're playing historical, I will take the historical quest, which is like improving your capital, make sure your people is happy and stuff like that, to easily get you into the game and grow to a powerhouse at some point. Next up, it's province information, where you can, I think, zoom out and see something about the provinces. I'm not quite sure. Nope. Yeah, actually, I have no idea how this works. I haven't used it yet. This I know, map it says, but it is actually logistics. As you can see here, all these small areas, these buttons or white spots, it's where when you drag out your army, you can ask them to move to this location. Also, as said earlier, quite quickly, at some point you'll be able to construct your own fortress. So, like, if I find, like, I can take in my own campaign I have, or my single player campaign I have over here, I found a perfect choke point. Like this, see, there are 2 roads from different areas, and if I build a fortress here, which I haven't done, but it's my plan to do, because I will have a strong fortified location like I already have up here, but I want to build one here as well to protect my lands, because I actually own all of this in my other campaign. So I'm doing quite okay. and hopefully this one I will do even better. But that's an overview of how you can travel around the map. And the next one is diplomacy, where you can see like they are interested, and it says they want to work together to defeat Kumotsuki clan. I'm not going to try and say all of the names because I'm not Japanese, and as you can hear, and I have no clue whatsoever to say all of these names properly. So I will try a few times, but not in general. But quite interesting, they want to help us defeat this guy. Maybe we'll take advantage of that. Like, how strong is he? Oh, he got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we could ally these and ask them to help defeating these, and after that grow a bit and then stab them in the back. We have to at some point stab someone in the back to become the daimyo of all of Japan. So why not begin early? And planning. Yeah, it's where you can get an overview about everything. Like, okay, I know I have 2,000 units here, 900, 800, 900, 700. So I need to move these up here and yeah, stuff like that. And you can see some tribes as well. And this is really, really cool as well. There are some small tribes around the map. And it's all of these different things. And if you get relationship up with them, you can get them to help you in a battle. But not only that, at some point you'll be able to, if you have them at 100%, you'll be able to get them to migrate into your city. So your city can expand like 1,000 population all of a sudden because you got this tribe with you, which is quite fascinating. And I love this mechanic because it seems reasonable that you have a small clan, you are helping them, and they see how powerful you are, and you protected them, and they help you, and at some point they probably want to join you, like in your cities. And yeah, I really like this mechanic as well. So these are the buttons at the map. Now there's quite a few on the left, and this episode is an introduction, and it will also be named an introduction campaign. But I think it's very important because at some point it may go a bit fast. Maybe not here in the beginning, but still, I start a lot stronger in this campaign than my previous one. And yeah, something is going to be rapidly, and I will explain why I'm doing what I am to you. And some of you maybe have a better tactic or strategy. I'm all ears. Let me know. It will be fun to have some other perspective on this. And yeah, but back to it. In the top you can see what year you're in, what month, and who are we. And we are Takahisha Shimasu, I guess it's called. This is the amount of gold we have, and gold is required to make diplomatic action, buying horses, supplies, gifts for generals, constructing buildings, and all sort of things. Next one is supplies, and supplies is quite important. Like, when you are taking your army out, it's going to take a certain amount of supply. The bigger the army, the more supplies it needs, and it's going to take as much as it can until it reaches supplies for 120 days in the game. And I really like this infrastructure mechanic as well, and you use a lot of supplies to like sell them to get some money, but also to fund your army. So you have to balance the use of your supplies, because if you don't, you can kind of screw yourself. Like, you sold too much supplies, so you can't actually go to war when you plan. And you're like, fuck, I have to wait until I can either buy some more supplies or the next harvest. And remember, a harvest season is once per year. So you have maybe to wait like 11, 10, 9 turns until you can do the war that you wanted. Next up is horses. And horses, well, it says itself. It's how many horses you have in your kingdom, but not just regular horses, but horses to fuel your combat. So as you can see right here, if I go to this castle, like we have 2,000 soldiers here, and I say I want to deploy them, which is this little fan symbol, I can see I will have 4,380 horses in this army of about 1900. So again, out of these 4,380 is here, and they are spread out across the different areas you have, as far as I can understand the mechanics behind this. And yeah, it's quite powerful to have horses, because you can charge in at the enemy mans, and it's quite powerful. So yeah, very important to have horses in your army. Next up is muskets, and we do not have any musket because it wasn't invented in Japan at this point. And I've played 8 years in my single player campaign, and I have not experienced muskets so far. Next up, innovation. I haven't quite understand what this is yet, but I think if this gets too high or too low, it will either start a rebellion or something like that. So I'm quite interested in how this works. Again, do you know? Just comment and thank you on before you have done it. Now, labor is quite important, and labor is how much labor you have to do certain tasks. And just to show a few, like if you want to develop your town, as you can see, use 2 labor to develop the town. And it's like if we go to our main castle, we can improve our crops, which is resulting in how much we harvest, our craft, which is income per turn, and conscripts is how many soldiers we can have at a maximum capacity. And the harvest is global, so right now at each harvest season we will gain 3,540 supplies, which is not that much actually. If we go back, we have 14,000, so it's not that it's not that good. So we have to improve that, and you can see how much it improved. Like it's about what, 50 points, 60, 59 points, and you can see how much increase. And if you do like this, and the further down it is, the bigger jump there is compared to the max. So yeah, that's labor. Then you have policies, which
Let us
we will
enact
not
a policy.
do. Like you can see, deploying horses or musket increase attack power, experience gain when executing orders increased, which is the positive. Then the negative, the development of crops and crafts slows. So I don't want that. And I can see right here, it costs some innovation, and depending on how much innovation you have, you can maybe do a policy or not. Like this one costs this much amount of gold each turn, and this is how much innovation it requires. Like this requires 800, which is quite a lot when we have what, 826. So yeah, policies which can help you in a variety of ways, which can be quite good, but they always have a negative and have a positive. Next up is training, where you can buy
What would you like?
crops, horses, muskets, or artifacts, which you can give to your officer as a gift to improve their loyalty. But you can also sell the amount of crops you have, like until a certain amount. You can sell everything if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. Next up we have infrastructure, where you can use labor to add a facility. Now facilities is quite interesting. We have a possibility to create a facility here, and you can see this area glows, and this is our military area, our agricultural district, and a commercial district. And if I click here, I can see there are 2 symbols here, which is they require the resources special, as you can see right below the cost of 1500. And all these has a positive, like population increase quickly, supplies become cheaper, make the district slightly suitable for craft, and increases innovation, and all sort of things. I like to improve, like I'm going to do this one because it both make the adjacent district more suitable for conscripts and craft, and yeah, it's up to your agriculture, not conscript area. So maybe I will do the coin exchange, but nope, I'm going with the Yeah, I don't know, one of these two, but for now I'm going to make a town fair. And then I have to select who is going to make this town fair. Now, this guy is my overseer, the one looking out for the castle. So it would be wise not to pick him because he won't be able to oversee the other tasks. So I will need another officer to do this area. But also it's quite expensive, like 1,000. I have 6,600, so quite expensive in the beginning. But there's a variety of different things you can do in these three areas, and also depending on what resource. Like, we're lucky to have the special resource right here, and we also have it right here. Like, this resource is hot spring, so there are some possibilities due to that. And also, you can improve your castle, like the Tenshu, the gate, the walls, bailey, and stuff like that, to make it more powerful and be able to endure more damage, and also make you able to make a counter attack if someone besieges you, and deploy units even if you're besieged and stuff like that, which is quite cool. Also the possibility to repair, make a fortified post, improve the road, which will make your army move faster, and our business will be more interesting and more profitable because it's easier to travel. And when these castles get large enough, you'll be able to expand the district. Like if you see, like in here, like let's take this one and go in here again. We have a fourth district right here. And in this fourth district, we can see the crops have a D rating and the craft and country have an E, which means it's better to do crops in this area. But we can do the other thing if we want to. So you can custom make every castle to what you like them to do. And also you can change a district. And here it is. Use 12 labor to construct a fortress. Now labor, if I didn't explain this before, it does come back. It's like for each turn or for each task. Like if I build this facility down here, it will take 4 labor, and it will take 35 days, so a bit over a month. So next month, now where I have 8, I will only have 4 next month because they are still working in the beginning of the next month. You can also dismantle a fortress. I can't see the reason why behind this. I would rather just take it, use it against my enemies, but it is a possibility and maybe it will come up. Here it's like posting like I have 4 officers, 1, 1, 1 and 1, which I don't like that actually to have. So I'll actually show you right now how it works. You select the new base, like where do you want them to move to, and I definitely want an extra guy down here, and I want someone from here. And let's take this guy. He's not that great intelligence wise or political, good leadership, so he maybe be the one leading the army when we draft someone from there. So yeah, going to confirm, and says this is the result, and do you wish this? Yes I do. And next turn he will arrive down here. You can see 3 out of 4 officers and 1 out of 1 at the moment. Next turn it will say 2 out of 2. Yeah. Here it's where you can like we want to do some politics with him, and let's see. Yeah, he got 87 in politics and 84 in intelligence, so very good. So it will take him 11 months to get them up to 100, which is quite potent. We definitely want, I think, a 2-year alliance or something like that. We'll take a year, maybe a year and a half, use some time to build up our lands and then attack our enemies down here. Maybe we can even form a coalition, which is also a possibility. Right here. It's when another faction becomes strong and you dislike them and other faction dislikes them, you can form a coalition against them to take them down, which is quite interesting. There's also the Imperial Court, like there is a shogun, and in this Imperial Court you can make him if you come against a war against a very powerful foe and you have good standing in the Imperial Court, you can make the Shogun say, you two have to make peace right now. And then he will be forced to accept that peace, which can save your ass, to be honest. Convert, yeah. Like here, appease the tribe and increase the support. So I can select the tribe, who should do it, and then later on I can assimilate them, which means get them to migrate into the castle, which is quite cool. And entice is quite interesting. Like if the enemy have an officer who is disloyal or not that content in being that faction, you can actually make him join you instead, or make him just like he won't join in the defense of their own if I attack them and stuff like that. And also like collude with another clan's officer, like I'm going to say to him, okay, now I'm going to attack, please don't do anything, or I want you to join me and I will distract you, so I'll send a messenger to him and make sure he gets out safely and stuff like that, which is quite cool. Retainers, you can employ a Ronin, and a Ronin is an officer who isn't loyal to a specific clan or family. So it's just like a great warrior, and he wants to be employed and serve as an officer for a kingdom and or a clan, and yeah, you can employ them. You can appoint castle lord, give gifts, teach trade, match a maiden to an officer, make the officer kin, all sort of things. Leadership of the clan is quite interesting. Expel an officer, which I have used. Like if I go in here and I see someone is red in loyalty, I would rather just sack him right away instead of waiting for him to turn his back on me, because then I don't need him if he's totally disloyal to me. You can also grant a rank to an officer and investigate. Now here you can survey your own areas, like you have some hidden resource like a mine or a secret path the enemy can use or stuff like that. And you can also, like, I want to know, it says 500, but how many exactly is located here, which I will be able to see by that. Province is something we're going to use, and I already used it in my single player. Like my castle in the single player is right here, my main castle. I can't show the area, I don't know how to do that yet, but you have a certain area where you can control all the castles in it. So I control this, and those two, and this one, and those four. But when I took over this castle, I couldn't control it because it was without my reach. So I created a new province, which is like, it's not a vassal under you, but it's like you're taking one of your most loyal officers and say to him, you are a governor right now for me, and I'm ordering you to protect these lands and control them. So his castle, or the main castle, became this area, and then he controlled this, and I later ordered him to take this last one, and when he took it, it was also under his control. Now I can ask him for help, like follow me into combat and stuff like that, and as long as they are loyal, no problem. But if they become disloyal, I'm quite interested what that will mean, if he will give up his power, like if you want to change him, which I doubt he will. So you could have a kind of civil war like atmosphere in that. So I think that's quite cool. But yeah, that's the city building part of this. And then next up, it's the military. Here I can set, I have a plan, I want to attack this, and then my advisor will be able to say, can we actually do this? Which I can also do this to my like the governor. Like here I can from allies as well, because I need some forces from you to help me, or call a truce. Again, use the court to call a peace, or just force someone else into a peace. Like if I wanted to take over these guys and they were at war with all of this at the same time, and I just forced, like they were a coalition against them, and I wanted them to have a peace, they would have a peace, and then I would be able to go in and just take them. Yeah, and this is where I use the direction for my province. Like I said, go invade this, or later on I required assistance because one raised 8,000 units and marched against me. But I proved to be stronger, so yeah, I kicked him out. Fortunately, I can also order him just to protect the province and like set an attack order and who do we want to attack. But this is for coalition, which we are not part of. So this is the introduction of all the buttons and all that, and here you can see the scale of the game. I will quickly take this turn and then I'll end this video. And first up, I will increase my crops, and the reason is quite simple. We need to get more harvest. Each harvest we gain some supplies, and I want more. And also, the more crops you have, the more population you can support in your towns, which gives you more labor, gives you, yeah, it just makes your lands more stronger, in my opinion. Like, see, the crops limits how many I can have, so I will get a maximum of soldiers beyond my level of supporting them. So it will be halted at 127 because I don't have enough food to support that amount of soldiers. But see, as the red bar in the conscript races. Now this is a big increase, like harvest from 3,700 to 4,100. Wow, I'm quite impressed. So we're definitely going to do that. Yeah, this is my main priority in my lands, to increase the harvest. Like, we were at what, 3,000 something, I believe, or 3,300 crops, and we already at 4,500. It's much stronger than the beginning already were. And we're going to assimilate this clan because I am the only one influenced them at the moment. But I don't have anyone else but an overseer, so I don't like that. What I can do right here, which I will, it does cost some gold, 300, as you can see up here. But I don't want this one to have influence on them, so I'm definitely going to do that. And they also have influence of those. That's only me, so I'm definitely going to do that as well. Yeah, let's talk business with these. Oh, the guy I had who were good, I've sent on to a task. So we'll wait for next turn, and we're going to survey if we have someone available. We do not. So I can already see an issue with the Shimashu. We do not have enough officer to my liking, but we will try to fix that in the coming episode. But this is going to be the first one, and I want to thank you for coming. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll keep with this series because it's a quite interesting game in the sense of tactics, the ambitions we have as the Shimashu. And again, thank you for coming, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.